Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Akmal Ashraf bin Osman. My message number 1202328. Today, me and my group will present about Shariah Audit Program, which is Commodity MURABAHA Depositor Tawaruk Financing in MABANK Islamic. This is my group name, which is from KMA1. First, Muhammad Akmal Ashraf, which is me. And then Jazrin Shazwan, Muhammad Fakrul Razi, Ahmad Muaz Fitri, and Muhammad Yunus bin Supardi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Ahmad Muaz Fitri bin Abdul Samad. My matrix number 1202327, and I will present about the product concept of commodity murabaha. Commodity murabaha is a type of Islamic finance transaction that involves the sale and purchase of a commodity. It is often used as a financing structure complying with Shariah principles. It starts with purchase request, when the customer expresses a need for financing to purchase a specific commodity, to bank purchase, where the bank purchases the commodity using its own funds, and then the bank sells the commodity to the customer at a higher price, with a payment deferred or structured over time. Thus, the customer agrees to pay the bank the higher sale price in installment, making it a deferred payment style. In contrast, commodity murabaha is a cost plus profit arrangement, and the bank makes a profit by selling the commodity at a higher price than it paid to acquire it. This structure complies with Islamic finance principle, as it avoids the payment or receipt of interest, which is riba, which is considered haram, which is forbidden in Islamic finance.
For Commodity MURABAHA deposit or Tawaruk deposit, testing objective first is authorities. Audit criteria for authorities: first, verify that murabahah transaction adhere to Islamic finance rule with Shariah guidelines. Next, ensure each murabahah deposit has the necessary paperwork, and then verify that the organisation comply with Islamic finance and banking regulations. Next, we move to the key control. First, review the procedure for approving murabahah transaction to ensure they are in accordance with established policy. Next, assess the effectiveness of monitoring system in place to track murabahah deposits. Next, confirm that any identified issue are appropriately addressed. And the last one is evaluate control related to communication and disclosure to customer regarding murabahah term. And then we move to the audit test or audit step. First, review documentation. Examine murabahah contract and supporting documentation for accuracy and completeness. Second, test pricing mechanism. Verify the accuracy of pricing calculation for murabahah transaction. And last is evaluate approval procedure. Test the effectiveness of the approval processes for murabahah transaction. I think that's all for the first testing objective.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Yunus bin Supardi, and my matrix number is 1202295. For the second testing objective is to ensure that transactions are accurately accounted for in the financial statements, including recognition of deferred payments and associated profits in accounting transactions. Next, audit criteria. First, refer to the financial statements to confirm that transactions are accurately reflected. Second, verify the proper recognition of deferred payments and associated profits in accordance with accounting standards. Third, confirm that there are adequate checks and balances to prevent errors or fraud in accounting for deferred payments and profits. Next, key control. First, transactions are supported by comprehensive documentations, including contracts, agreements, and other relevant records. Second, conduct periodic reconciliations between transaction records, general ledger, accounts, and supporting recommendations to identify and rectify any discrepancies. Third, there is an appropriate division of responsibilities among different departments or individuals involved in transactions. Lastly, for audit test or step, the first one is evaluate the effectiveness of internal controls over transactions, focusing on segregation of duties, authorization procedures, and system controls. Second, evaluate any subsequent events or transactions related to the contract of the product that may impact the financial statements after the balance sheet date. Last but not least, review the methodology used for recognizing profits associated with transactions.
For Shariah audit program, number 3, our testing objective number 3 is assessing risk management. The audit criteria is evaluating the effectiveness of internal controls, reviewing risk mitigation, and ensuring alignment with Islamic finance principle and regulatory guidelines. And the key control for this testing objective is the product is aligned with Shariah compliance framework. Policies and number 2 is policies and procedures are following to Shariah principle, and risks are assessed in a consistent manner with Islamic finance system. And for audit tests, and what are the steps is review the documentation related to risk identification and measurement processes. And number 2, evaluating the adequacy of internal controls designed to mitigate risks. And number 3, test the accuracy and completeness of data used in risk assessment.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Jazlan Shazwan bin Ismail, mention number 1202949. So as we go to the point number 4 of testing objective, which is confirm the proper execution of commodity transactions, ensuring compliance with Islamic finance principles and regulatory guidelines. For the audit criteria, we must ensure that the commodity transactions adhere to Shariah principles, including the prohibition of riba, uncertainty qarar, and unjust enrichment, and verify that the commodity transaction align with relevant Islamic finance, regulatory guidelines, and standards. For the key control, adequate documentation confirming the specifics of the commodity transactions, including the type of commodity, pricing mechanism, and profit sharing arrangements. Confirmation that the qualified Shariah board has reviewed and approved the commodity transaction for compliance with Islamic principles, and a system in place to monitor and report on commodity transactions, enabling timely identifications and resolution of any discrepancies. For the audit test, examine the documentation associated with a sample of commodity transactions, ensuring clarity on the type of commodity, pricing, and profit sharing structure. Verify that commodity transactions have received formal approval from the independent Shariah board, confirming compliance with Islamic principles. Randomly select and scrutinize a representative sample of commodity transactions to assess their adherence to Shariah principles and regulatory guidelines.
Lastly, we move to the last testing objective, which is repayment. For audit criteria, timely repayment by customer. This key control emphasize the importance of customer making repayment according to the agreed upon schedule. Timely repayment are crucial for maintaining the financial health of the community murabaha arrangement and ensuring that the depositor receive their fund in a predictable manner. Now we move to the key control. Uh, First, evidence of timely repayment. Audit teams need to examine record to confirm that customers are consistently making repayment on or before the specified due dates. Next is accuracy in calculating installment amounts. It essential to ensure that the installment amount charged to customer are accurate and in line with the term specified in the Murabah contract. And last, we move to the audit test or audit step. First, review repayment record for timelines. Auditor will select a sample of customer account and meticulously review their repayment record. And last is verify calculation accuracy for a sample of transaction. Auditor will choose a sample of Murabaha transaction and verify the accuracy of installment calculation. I think that's all from our group. Thank you and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.